Further details of the despondency and the relief from that has been an absolute truth which is described by Narada. Every time in advancement of these verses, they are specifically targeting the gross despondency that was created in Srila Vyasadeva's heart, and he would not be able to understand. Narada Muni is putting up in a very grilling way all these verses which are following, number 10 and especially number 11, they will be very, very astounding, and Prabhupada quotes them quite. The difference between ordinary Vedic literature and conclusive literature of the Vedic version. So there are differences. So here, today number 9 is telling yathā dharmādayaś cārthā muni-varyānukīrtitāḥ na tathā vāsudevasya mahimā anuvarṇitaḥ yathā dharmādayaś cārthā mahimā yathā dharmādayaś cārthā muni-varyānukīrtitāḥ na tathā vāsudevasya mahimā anuvarṇitaḥ
yathā dharmādayaś cārthā muni-varyānukīrtitāḥ na tathā vāsudevasya mahimā anuvarṇitaḥ
yathā dharmādayaś cārthā muni-varyānukīrtitāḥ na tathā vāsudevasya mahimā anuvarṇitaḥ
as much as
dharma-ādayaḥ, all four principles of religious behavior,
all four principles of religious
and arthāḥ, purposes, muni-varya, by yourself, the great sage, anukīrtitāḥ, repeatedly described, tathā, in that way, vāsudevasya, of the personality of Godhead, Śrī Kṛṣṇa,
of the personality of Godhead, Śrī Kṛṣṇa,
mahimā, glories, he certainly, anuvarṇitaḥ, so constantly described. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Swami, Srila Prabhupada. Although great sage, you have very broadly described the four principles beginning with religious performances. You have not described the glories of the Supreme Personality of Vāsudeva. The prompt dialogue of Srimad is at once declared. The root cause of the despondency of Vāsudeva was his deliberate avoidance of glorifying the Lord in his various editions of the Puranas. He has certainly, as a matter of course, given description of the glories of Lord Śrī Kṛṣṇa, but not as many as given to the religiosity, economic development, sense gratification, and salvation. These four items are by far inferior to engagement in devotional service of the Lord. Sri Vāsudeva, as the authorized scholar, knew very well this difference, and still, instead of giving more importance to the better type of engagement, namely devotional service to the Lord, he had more or less improperly used his valuable time, and thus he was despondent. From this, it is clearly indicated that no one can be pleased substantially without being engaged in devotional service of the Lord. In the Bhagavad Gita, this fact is clearly mentioned. After liberation, which is the last item in the line of performing religiosity, etc., one is engaged in pure devotional service. This is called the stage of self-realization or Brahma-bhuta stage. After attainment of this Brahma-bhuta stage, one is satisfied, but satisfaction is in the beginning of the transcendental. Satisfaction is the beginning of transcendental bliss. One should progress by attaining neutrality and equality in the relative world, and passing this stage of equanimity, one is fixed in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. This is the instruction of the Personality of Godhead in Bhagavad Gita. The conclusion is that in order to maintain the status quo of Brahma-bhuta state, as also to increase the degrees of transcendental realization, Narada recommended to Vāsudeva that he, Vāsudeva, should now eagerly and repeatedly describe the path of devotional service. This would cure him from the gross despondency. Om Jnana-tinmirānasya Jnana-jnana-śrākāya Chakṣurmīlāya Tasmai Śrī Gurave Namaha. Śrī Chaitanya-manobhishtam sthapitam yena bhūtale swayam rūpa-bhadāmahim dadāti svapadantikam vandeham Śrī Gurum Śrī Datāpadakamalam Śrī Gurum Vaishnavanscha Śrī Rūpam Sāgarajatam Sāgara-raghunatham Tam Sajivam Sādvaitam Sāvadūtam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Śrī Radha Krishna Padam Sāgara Lalita Śrī Vishakam Tamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dīna Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Kanta Namastute Tapta Kancham Gaurangi Radhe Vrindaveshwari Vrishabhanusuti Devi Pranamasi Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarupyascha Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namah Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravarani Pracharane Vishesha Sanyavadi Paschat Desakarane Jai Śrī Kṛṣṇa Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Śrī Advaita Gadadhar Śrīvasati Gaura-bhakta-vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Yathā dharmādayaś cārthā muni-varyānukīrtitāḥ tathā vāsudevasya mahimā anuvarṇitaḥ. Although great sage, you have very broadly described the four principles beginning with religious performances. You have not described the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vāsudeva. This was also the instruction Krishna gave in Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. Traigunya Vishaya Veda Naistrandrunya Bhava. The Vedas, the subject matter of the Vedas, are filled with the effects of the three modes of material nature. But Arjuna, you come out from these three modes and establish in transcendence, and then your beauty in transcendence connected with me will be realized. Up till now, the material nature and how to gradually overcome from the lower modes of material nature to mode of goodness, the recommendation in the Vedas are given, so you may fulfill your desire. Only in mode of goodness. But that is still effective activity. It is not liberating. In liberation, you need to have detached yourself from any material attachment or any effect of the three modes of material nature. To execute the desire of the Lord, one must enter into the realm of transcendence. One cannot pick up service according to one's liking. And of course, some facilitation is there, but at the same time, that is not the way to engage in devotional service. I can do only this service and not others. While Prabhupada says, know everything. So, whatever opportunity you get, and in the recommendation of the higher authority, one must be ready to accept. So, Prabhupada said, you have to become all-rounder. Then and then, a proper mindset will be cultivated. It's not that because I like only this kind of service, and so nobody can move me out from here. I like that only. One has to become aloof from likes and dislikes. Because in Krishna is equal to both pros and cons, equal to good and bad. He doesn't take any side either of the good or the bad. Samoham sarvabhuteshu na drashti na priyasi ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya jashvaham. He makes this distinction of likes and dislikes, or who is good and who is bad. I do not make any distinction because both good and bad are dual production of material nature. When it is said all good, it doesn't mean all material good. That is always spiritual good. And that is only obtained through pure devotional service. So Krishna is not a pakshapati. Paksha means he is not taking anybody's side. For him, both good and bad have been counter-product of each other, and he is the cause of that creation. It's not out of hate, but it is just to facilitate the proclivities, the desires. Some are demigod desires, some are demoniac desires. And we are mixed of that. Sometimes we think good, sometimes we... But good and bad both are simply material products. So Krishna says, I am not interested. So I remain equal. Let the nature take its own course. If you do good, give credit to Mother Nature and she will reward you. If you do bad, give credit to Mother Nature and she will reward you accordingly. Right? So, samoham sarvabhuteshu. But only he favors devotees. Because devotional service or the exchange of relationship in particular service, Krishna reciprocates. Demigods may be reciprocating with some material wealth or this or that, but it is temporary. Krishna could have also given, but he's not. I'm giving that job to demigods. I don't want to get entitled. Let them enter. Lord Shiva can be also entitled. Right? He's so benevolent, Ashutosh, but he becomes victimized of his nature of Ashutosh. You know the story of that Bhasmasur or Rudrasur got the benediction from Lord Shiva that any hair that he touches will crack into 1,000 pieces. Then after getting the benediction, he tried on Lord Shiva's hair. See the devotee of nature? He doesn't want to do on his own hair. So Krishna has to trick him and made him dance and touch his head and cracked. So like that, Krishna comes to the rescue to the devotee because Lord Shiva is the greatest of all the devotees. Vaishnava yathā. He is our leader in performance of devotional service, but because he is in charge of the mode of ignorance and dealing with the demons mostly, he gets affected sometimes. So in that sense, there are examples that we cannot, bank upon, not to take any instruction from Lord Shiva's example. So similarly, Hanuman is also there. They say Hanuman is also expansion of Lord Shiva. Shiva does. What is that? Kesari Nandan. Kesari Nandan, at the same time, he is also said to be a Vāyuputra. Kesari was the king of Vanas, and Anjani was his wife. And she received the prasadam that Dasaratha Maharaj obtained through Uttarashti Yajna to fulfill the desires. So, from Kaikeyi's hand, some of that prasadam was stolen by a kite and she dropped in the mouth of Anjani. So this is how Anjani Putra. Padkeshwari Nandan and Anjani Putra. But at the same time, he is also said to Vayu Putra. And Panchamukhi Hanuman is directly a representation of the same of Panchamukhi Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva has 5 heads. Anyway, modes of material nature and the Vedas are driving you only to avoid mode of passion and ignorance and hang on to mode of goodness. That's not a big deal. That is not the purpose of the creation. Or be a good citizen, be benevolent, do some public welfare activity, this. No, that is very entangling, not liberating activities. But yet people who do not know the dharma-ādayaḥ moksha, 4 great principles of the human. Even if they try to do moksha, then he will be able to tell himself that he is liberated. It's extremely difficult to find out who is liberated and who is not. Only a liberated person knows another liberated person. That is the story of in Srimad Bhagavatam comes a big fat person, he decided that he doesn't want to get entangled with the three modes of material nature, so he will depend upon Lord's mercy. So he sits like a jagar. A jagar is a python. He sits only at one place, doesn't move about to get any food for him. Whatever pass through, he may grab it. He doesn't go to hunt. Alright? So he said, I will cultivate a jagar vritti. He will sit down at one place only and he would not move. So being an avadhuta means a liberated person, and he acts completely antagonistic to his civilian activity. He will remain naked, he will pass through there as it is unclean, and when people come to get his blessings, then he talks about spirituality and nothing else. So such avadhutas were considered to be great sadhus. Alright? So one time Prahlāda Maharaj was passing through, and seeing this avadhuta, he starts conversing out of curiosity. Now, how come you have adopted this life? And he said, I don't want to get entangled with the three modes of material nature. I decided. Otherwise, I came from such a high background. There was a lot of attachment around me, at my disposal, and this and that. But I considered everything was futile. And I adopted an ajagar vritti. Ajagar vritti. Prabhupada calls ajagar vritti means if the python is there, he enters into the hole, which is created by lower animals like rats and some other. Eats there and stays comfortable. He doesn't move. He got food also in the same house, and he got residence also. And for him it is Krishna's act, right? So ajagar vritti is cultivated by those who are liberated. And that avadhuta reminded Prahlāda Maharaj, I am telling you because you are liberated. Only a liberated person will understand other liberated situation. Otherwise, nobody can estimate. People come with their, blessings from me, and I give them, and sometimes they reciprocate. They take me on the elephant to celebrate and give me sumptuous food, and sometimes I have to fast. Nobody comes, So, and every day, I'm not starving, I'm plump because they overfeed me. Yeah. I do not consider, that I have to eat limited because I'm a diabetic. So, at that time, such conception was not there of diabetes. So he said, this is how this body has grown. Right? And spiritual talks require that. Spiritual talks are beyond the effects of the three modes of material nature. So, after after liberation, one must enter into that. They cannot talk anything of attachments. So here it is saying that what is the business that once you are liberated? Vāsudeva was a high caliber. He is already liberated, and that's why he was describing in the Vedas how to gradually come to the point of liberation. Dharma, arthā, kāma, moksha. So religiosity, sense gratification, and earning to balance out and provide the necessities to the household. So it is for sense gratification. Eating, sleeping, mating, defending. 4 things are sense gratifying. Then arthā, but the moksha is there. The 4th Purusharthas. In the other ages, in Satyuga, Treta and Dvapara, moksha was the ultimate 4th principle one has to form. But that was given to the 4th order sannyas. People were taking sannyas to get moksha. That was the purpose. And in Kali Yuga, it is forbidden. But even though the moksha practice is extremely difficult in the age of Kali, but mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by simply take the refuge of the holy name, and you automatically grow up, and moksha comes in between, and pure devotional service starts after that. So Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na shachati na kanshati samat sarveshu bhuteshu mad bhaktim labate param. After moksha, the pure devotional service will start, because there is no attachment, and our attempts of performance of bhakti are spontaneous, because there is no tags attached. That's total freedom, right? And in that freedom, you cannot think that I can do only that service and not. Jad Bharat was liberated because he decided not to, fall victim. So he became deaf and dumb purposely. It doesn't mean he was not able to listen, but he reserved that right not to be exposed to anybody and everybody. But he opened his mouth for ravenous, benefit. So, and he taught nothing but pure spiritual talks. So, at what extent he has been tolerating the extremes of, treacherous activity of others. He was supposed to be decapitated in front of Durga, as an animal of sacrifice, because he was looking like an animal, deaf and dumb, useless body. So they wanted to offer it to Kali. But Kali busted out and said, So the point is that spirituality begins after liberation. And we are given access, even though we are not qualified, by the unfathomable mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the disciplic succession. Simply depend on the holy name. And that is only a recommendation. The holy name, Hare Krishna Mahamantra, is written in Yajurveda, Kali Santarni Upanishad, and it is for every Kali Yuga. But this Because Srimad Bhagavatam tells, Kirtanāt eva Krishnasya mukta sangam paramrije. Simply, the holy name of Lord Krishna, chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, will liberate one from these effects of the three modes of material nature. And then Parabhakti will begin. So, whatever the result was obtained through first 3 ages, through regulative principles, on the recommendation of Vāsudeva's understanding and explanation, and for the 3 modes of material nature, the Vedas are filled with that. But ultimate aim is, after the liberation, what are you going to do? You are not going to be jobless. Pure devotional service will begin. And at that time, no hanky-panky. I like this only, I don't like I like that, I don't like that. No. It's very, very pathetic. If somebody, he is not liberated. So this is very important. That Narad Muni says, what benefit did you give to the humanity? Just try to fulfill their material desires and be good people. Good people are also burden on the earth. Not only bad people are burden on the earth, good people are also burden on the earth. Because everybody has a different definition of good. And they fight. So anyway, we need to look further. The root cause is the attachment to the material world. Vāsudeva, what's after liberation? You missed the point. This was all done for the benefit of mankind, but this is not the ultimate benefit. It is required to purify ourselves from base material modes, but come to the transcendental mode through the holy name. Describe such a literature. It's filled with transcendental glories of the Supreme Lord and nothing else. We do not need even moral goodness to interfere in this literature. So, Srimad Bhagavatam is protected. It is the purest of all Puranas. Why? Because it doesn't have effect of moral goodness, passion or ignorance. Yet people are organizing saptas in the moral passion, ignorance, goodness is very little. So, it is not recommended. If the speaker is qualified, the audience should be also qualified. Then and then, the purpose of recitation of Srimad Bhagavatam will be solved. But now, become professional reciters and Prabhupada reciters. It's not end result should be money making. End result should not be money making. End result should be developing pure devotional service, and people will be getting into the tangible benefit to become liberated and able to perform pure devotional service. So this is the insistence. Even in number 10 sloka, more clarity will be given. Following 4 regulative principles, they are the principles of liberation. At least will be allowed to act in moral goodness. So we will be able to concentrate on mode of transcendence. If a person is highly agile, working passionately to maintain the household and other things, and giving very little time in cultivating the activity after liberation, that is extremely difficult. So one has to be very careful. Sooner the better, retire and engage. So how much time do you need? How much time do we need in fruitive activities? No. So Vāsudeva was reminded that after Brahmabhuta state, the furtherance is in executing pure devotional service. Mad bhakti labhate param. Param means supreme. So bhakti can be also classified when it is with the mixed modes of material nature, then it's not parabhakti. It is a comfortable devotional service. We do not want uncomfortable devotional service. Right? So that is not parabhakti. I like only this, or I have this position, I'm stuck, and nobody can move me from here, but that is not the way. Śrīla Prabhupada always insisted, know everything, know everything. You will be needed. Where there is absence of somebody who can perform that particular, you enter. It is your beauty. So, performance of spontaneous devotional service is a matter after liberation, not before. One should not artificially try it. And when something adverse comes in with, then he will not be able to handle it. He will be confused. His confusion is also becoming rebellious confusion, and he will either made to get out or he will quit himself. Instead of continuation of the devotional service, which is the only way to become spontaneous devotional service. This kind of interruptions are nothing but offense on the Holy Name. So we have to be very careful. Anyway, you will enjoy number 10 and 11. Very, very described, but very important. How Srimad Bhagavatam is being glorified because Bhagavan is glorified. So Prabhupada will explain, person Bhagavatam, book Bhagavatam, and Bhagavan himself. So 3 are Bhagavatams. And all the respective positions are in harmony. They are in harmony. There is no disharmony between a person Bhagavatam who is spreading Bhagavatam. Srila Prabhupada is a person Bhagavatam. He has monumental task to translate Srimad Bhagavatam into 60 volumes. And this particular first volume of first canto, he brought 3, right? So first one is so much potent. It will change your entire sight of what is the religiosity. Religiosity can put you to foolish piety only. What will you do? Utilize your foolish piety to go to Swargaloka, enjoy and come back. So, if we are going back to Godhead, then secure the path with proper understanding, deliberate, and make it a vow not to deviate from glorification of the Supreme Lord. Because He is the origin, even both material and spiritual. What glorification you will see by giving intricate development in the material life. Most of the people obsessed with sakam buddhi, they are religious, but they are also enjoying the resources or the paraphernalia of worship, like prasad. Vaishnavas are generally fat, okay? They also receive as Mahaprasad betel nut, and they are obsessed. I'm Vaishnava. Oh, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. When you meet them, oh Prabhu, how are you? He said, oh Parvati ki daya hai. And immediately, when he speaks this, the mouth is full with the betel nut juice, so he has to speak. Otherwise, he will not be able to speak. But this is the indication of sense-gratification life. Attachment. They think attachment can also be helpful. Okay. But where will you go? If you are too attached, where will you go? Sakam. But you have to perform tīvra bhakti. Akamava sarvakamehi mokshakama udavadi tīvrena bhakti yogena yajata puruṣam param. What is tīvra bhakti? If you have a tīvra pain or what we call acute pain, you understand it's unbearable. So, Tivrena bhakti yogena, such bhakti should be so much, pain-giving, and yet you have to perform. Then and then, the Lord will fulfill your desires. Sarokya Sammitya Sarsti and Sarupya, 4 muktis. You want to fulfill your desire, but no. We want to fulfill Krishna's desire. What a difference is there between Vaikuntha psychology and Goloka psychology. So naturally, we are told Krishna Upadesh. Why? Because they are transcendental in nature. No other thing is required. Just repeat after what Krishna says, what Śrī Prabhupada says, that's good enough. Try to remember. If you remember sense gratification so much, why not this? But it is counteracting the effect. One is dragging us to the hell, another dragging to the transcendental abode of Lord Śrī Kṛṣṇa. Not even Vaikuntha. So people cannot neglect Lord Kṛṣṇa. So in our devotional service, we are also facing the despondencies. Not only Vāsudeva. Vāsudeva became an example for us to teach. So what should be the remedy to our despondency? See? If Vāsudeva got chastisement, we can also receive chastisement. I told you that in Prabhupada's time, when the devotees get chastised, there is a rejoicing. It's called, oh, you got sauce, Prabhu. Sauce means, you are so lucky. You are so lucky. Unless and until one gets sauce, he will never become a pure devotee. So, it's an opportunity. Otherwise, Sakam Bhakti will break us down. And we should learn. Anybody has any question?
Since to you, you mentioned in your discourse about moksha and liberation, right? Now these terms, thank you.
Moksha and liberation. Moksha is liberation.
Moksha means liberation. Now, sometimes these terms like mukti, nirvana, moksha, and back to Godhead are confusing. How do you differentiate between nirvana, mukti, and moksha? Or are the same?
Nirvana means zero. Moksha means your existence is still there. And it is sanatana. Buddhism cut short up to nirvana, but no devotional service. So, nirvana is zero. After moksha, devotees take pure devotional service. Right now, our devotional service is conditional.
And nirvana?
Nirvana is zero, means your existence is not there.
And mukti?
That's a wishful thinking, right? Can you ever think that you do not exist? But Lord Buddha came to stop animal slaughter and establish Satya. So, the Vedas were misused in Kali Yuga to stop the killing of under the Vedic authority. So, Vedas have to be rejected. So, Krishna, you came and put up the asat, means false doctrine. So, by removing the Vedas, people were able to say, oh, Satya Ahimsa. Nindasi yakya videka asati yatam sadaya radaya darshita pashubhatam keshavatrita buddha sharira jaya jagadisha. And the Buddhas put nirvana. Nirvana means the end. When you see a movie, and at the end it's written, the end. So that is called nirvana, nothing after. But sanatana means continuation. If one is not liberated, then it comes back in repeated life. But if one is liberated in his pure spiritual identity, he continues pure devotional service to come back to God, where it is eternal, full knowledge and bliss. Satchidananda, real. So, people don't understand. So Buddha said, okay, but stop this nonsense. But Buddhas became, all the subsequent followers became corrupted. And they started rampant killing. If Ashok can kill a lot of Hindus, so why not kill animals to eat? So they all became animal eaters again. So therefore, Buddhism has to be kicked out from India. It went to Myanmar and into China, and up to China itself. But at the same time, atheism and other things also started permeating, and they became completely corrupt. They don't understand what we do. We go by our tenets. Buddha was an empowered incarnation of Vishnu. Keshavadrika Buddha said, you assume the form of Buddha. So every time, dharmasya glani has to be taken care by an avatar. So that's how Buddha played his role. So that is nirvana, is zero. After that, nothing. It will be complete zero. Means you will be non-existent. That will become liberated, and then experience whether you are existent or non-existent. That is a state of nirvana. Any other question?
Yeah, more question,
We just had a beautiful initiation ceremony
I
yesterday.
didn't wear the hearing aids today.
Yesterday we had a beautiful initiation ceremony in the temple. So my question is, can you please, we have read and heard over and over again that when you take initiation, the Guru takes all your karma. Is it true?
When you take initiation, it's said that the spiritual master takes all your karma.
Oh,
Can you explain that?
That's basically the...
he is a garbage collector. Where does he dump? It is the karma, but where does he dump? It goes all the way up to Brahma. Brahma is the final incinerator. So he does yajna and offer it to Virata Rupa. That's correct. That's how Brahma is engaged. So don't worry. We are garbage collectors.
So, in other
We
words,
may become dirty also, collecting garbage.
so in other words, the spiritual master takes the karma, but he passes it
Oh,
on.
definitely. It is said in Bhagavatam. If somebody promises to follow four regulatory principles and chant 16 rounds without fail, that's the greatest authority if he maintains it. So naturally, spiritual master is benevolent to give him the feelings of liberation. But people understand sometimes, oh, I am done. I'm free, I'm liberated, I can do any damn thing. So, it's a serious matter.
Along the same lines, Prabhupada often mentioned, Srila Prabhupada often mentioned that because his disciples were not following, that he was getting sick because they weren't following. So if he's passing the karma on, how is it that it affects him?
After all, if the disciples do not take care properly, that is a performance of devotional service. Naturally, either the modes take an effect or give a kind of contamination. Inoculation is required, so the person who is more serious, the spiritual master, has to protect himself by getting a real immunization of pure devotional service. He can't make a choice of his own. He is more surrendered than his disciple. He should, because he is also going back home back to Godhead, and he may hold the hand of the disciple and drag him. Sometimes there are, two kinds of disciples, introvert and extrovert. Antarmukhi and Bahirmukhi. Antarmukhi disciple, he protects the glory of the Guru. Second, glory of the beads that he received, the glory of mantra and the history. An extrovert, he wants to expose everything because he has weaknesses. He wants to hide the weaknesses by putting his Guru front. Go, we are behind you. Are Baba. The spiritual master is pushed in the direction which is he doesn't want to train. That's extra. Ulterior motivations. And such disciples can make him sick. It is very simple. So it's a responsibility, mutual responsibility, not one day. They are also called dharma-dvajis. Dharma-dvaji, flag bearers. We are very advanced and we want to show it. Our business is that is the direction of advancement, but instead power, profit and adoration becomes the means for dharma. To hide their own weaknesses, they expose Guru. Let the Guru go to heaven. There's a beautiful article about this in Krishna Kathamrita, early times. There's a great Vaishnava principles. These are bona fide teachings. God-going Maharaj